We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 475. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week, the OG Undisputed Scholar himself. He is Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, are you ready for All In?
I am ready for All In, but I'm more just sitting back and just seeing how we're gonna see the Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship up for grabs for All In, and might as well just segue into our champion looking ready to go. Go.
Yep. I wasn't sure if you were gonna if you're gonna take the intro from me or not,
Oh
but
no, not for this one. Only for me and
yes,
Brian.
fair enough. But you heard it here first, folks. Joining us this week, the Scholars of Wrestling World Champion himself, and the newest scholar to the Scholars of Wrestling Pantheon. He is the one and only Scholar Pete. Scholar Pete, are you ready for your very first title defense?
You don't want none.
Aren't
You don't want
ready,
none.
boys. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk into All In, and then I'm gonna walk out. Still, your Scholars of Wrestling champion. Let me tell you what you're in for, Scholar Jeff. You do not know how bad you are going to lose to me, sir. I am the great champion that will defend his belt every chance he gets because the outcome is always the same. Still, your champion, Scholar Pete. But, gentlemen, I'll entertain you for tonight while we give our predictions for the show that I'm going to win. So, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Oh, I am much better now. Your false bravado is scintillating. And I cannot wait to take that belt from you and put it back on my shoulder where it rightfully belongs. But until then, you will realize firsthand that sometimes it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you enjoy the ride. Tarek, can I get an agreement here from you?
Like I said, I'm staying out of this one. I just want to hear the trash talking
Listen,
between the people fight going for the belt.
Okay,
listen,
all right, all
listen.
right.
Scholar Jeff,
You biding your
Scholar
I'm just
time.
the
I hear you.
I'm just the spectator on this one. I've been champion almost for like a good portion of this year,
Jeff.
so it's not you throw those hands up like that. It's once again, I'm just spitting facts. So it's nice to
And
take a break from having Goldie on my shoulder and just let someone else go for the title for a change. It's all just fun and games until the championship comes back to being undisputed,
let me tell you
which
something,
it
Scholar
will.
Jeff. Let me tell you something, Scholar Jeff. This isn't 2021. It's a new regime over here. The champion is here. You were the champion back in the day, but I am the champion now.
Back in the day, it was a matter of wasn't even a matter of years ago. Come on.
I think you were champion when going into Royal Rumble.
Was I now?
I
Oh
believe you
yes,
were.
I
I believe you.
actually
Yeah.
yes, I was. I was.
And then I took it from you, and
And then you ruined my WrestleMania dreams by still walked away with the party championship and permanent and forever changed Scholars history forever. So you know what? You're right. Thank you. Truly, you are a Scholars of Wrestling, but not only that, you are a scholar of the Scholars of Wrestling. So put that in your hat, wear it with pride, and just sit on back because right now I need to show Scholar Pete what being a real scholar is all about. Are you ready?
Born ready.
Scholar Tarek, are you ready?
as ready as I'll ever be.
And for the rest of you scholars, Scholar Brian and Scholar Charlie, if you haven't put in your predictions yet, please pause this video or podcast right now, put in your predictions, and then join us back here and see how your predictions match up.
It's
Here we
an
go.
interesting fact that Scholar Brian hasn't been on the show since I've been champion. I'm just saying. Just run scared. Scholar Brian's running scared.
Oh,
Pete, I can assure you, He's here. He may not be here, but he knows exactly what you have been saying about him. And he's gonna make his statement very soon.
Rule number 3 of the Scholars of Wrestling: do not provoke the Scholar Brian. Reasons why, you'll see in due time. But until then, your dance partner is me, amigo. So let's get right into it. This is AEW All In Predictions 2024. Now, Scholar Pete, as the defending champion, you have right of first refusal. Do you want to start off the chain of picks, or do you want to defer to the next scholar in line?
Great question, Scholar Jeff. What do you want me to do? You would love to know what I have to say, but right now I'm going to pass it off and let you gentlemen say your predictions while I sit back and enjoy.
All right, then. In that case, the Scholars of Wrestling lineup goes to the next person in line, which is the senior scholar himself, Scholar Tarek. The first pick is yours, and the first
Actually,
match on the card. Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and give since you're the challenger for the title, I'm gonna give the first pick to you, fool.
Okay, so we've got a double refusal. Not even. I question the validity of that. There's going to be shenanigans afoot. I know it, but you know what?
Hey, like I said, I'm just the spectator on this one. The main focus of this episode is between the two of you gentlemen. So again, I'm just sitting back and enjoying the show. So go ahead,
Appreciate you,
fool.
Scholar Tark. Appreciate you, Scholar Tark.
All right. Well, in that case, the first match on the card is going to be Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii in a buy-in match, an intergender match on the pre-show, the buy-in for a future match ahead. So with that,
Is that
this
also to
one,
choose the stipulation to that for that match?
it is a stipulation. Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
I missed that. It's actually going to be the stipulation of the match between Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander at All Out. So that one, with my pickup first, I am going to go with Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. This one I can see there being, because of Chris Statlander being the bit of the aggressor for this feud, I can see this being a turning point in the feud, and also a great way to kick things off right for the live Wembley crowd. So I'm gonna go with Willow and Ishii to win. Pete, it's your pick up next. Your first pick of the night as champ, and what do you got?
You know what? I have to commend you, Scholar Jeff, because you made a good decision. And that decision, of course, is Will Nightingale. She like starting the pre-show. You have to start off right. You give them the W. Let's start this all in good. You know, you got major matches that we're going to get into. But to echo what Scholar just said perfectly, it's a hands down opener and a hands down point for each of us. So good on you, Scholar Jeff.
All right, and with that, Tarek, it is now your pick. Who do you got between Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway and Will Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii?
It's actually really funny because it's kind of up in the air for this one, because in normal cases when people are choosing, like when there's a stipulation to choose the stipulation for a future grudge match, normally like 9 times out of 10 that would go towards the heels picking up the victory. But and then there's also the fact that it is on the pre-show, and another 9 times out of 10 the faces win on the pre-show, like as you put it, Jeff, to get that crowd going and to get that crowd pumped for when the show actually, stops being a pre-show and be the actual main show. So it really is a top, like it really is a coin toss for me. Uh and I'm probably gonna lean towards the whole faces win the pre-show argument, even though something is telling me that Statlander and Stokely are going to stake this victory. Just again, heels have a better opportunity to, or have the better chances to pick stipulation matches. But yeah, I'm going to go for Willow Nightingale, and it was, but her partner is Ishii, you said?
Ishii, yes. Good old
Okay,
Stone Pitbull himself.
okay, yeah. I'm gonna pick Willow Nightingale and Ishii to win. Although just like it's just the idea of Stokely getting the pin, it's just something I could just look at it and be like, I can see them doing that just to be like, because it would just be like fuel for Stokely to really pump up that I got the victory for this one. But yeah, I'm gonna go Nightingale and Ishii.
Yeah, it does seem somewhat within the realm of plausibility, doesn't it?
I mean,
But
it's kind of a similar situation. I believe there was a Statlander Willow Nightingale pre-show match happened earlier this year, and we all picked Willow Nightingale to win. And then all of a sudden, Chris Statlander actually ended up and just proved us all wrong. And it's just like, is history going to repeat itself for this particular show?
very good question indeed. But speaking of good questions, we've got another one on deck because the next match I've got on my lineup is the Casino Gauntlet match. The winner of this match will get a future AEW World Championship shot. And this has any number of potential participants. And Pete, is your pickup first? Who do
I
you
mean,
got for being the winner of the Casino Gauntlet match?
I mean, it's an easy call here. AEW showing their hand on Wednesday. It's going to be my boy, Hangman Adam Page. That backstage segment, all but made it believe. And I mean, we're going to get into the, obviously, later into the World Championship, which will further my explanation on the Hangman. But I think where they're going with him, it's great. I need him to look strong. And I think that strongness is going to come in the Casino Battle Royal. You give him a world title, you make him look ferocious. Let's go. I'm all about my Hangman.
All right, Tarek, it's next up for you. Who do you got in the Casino Gauntlet match?
Before I make a prediction, I'm quickly looking up all the so far announced participants. Let's see.
I believe not all of them have been fully announced just yet. Only a small handful have been confirmed.
Let's see. 2024
I mean, we could
matches.
also talk about the elephant in the room. Do we think that Ricochet is going to be at this thing?
Oh,
Is
absolutely.
I
he
didn't
in the
want to say
Casino
anything,
Royale?
but I think it's a very safe bet. A very safe bet.
So you think, yeah, okay, I
Oh,
get
he's
you.
probably gonna like. I can see with Orange Cassidy being the number one entrant for this battle royal for this gauntlet match. I actually see Ricochet just coming in as number two, and we're just starting it off with Orange Cassidy versus Ricochet.
Just as a boom boom match. I like it. I like it.
Okay, so there's only 6 names that are confirmed, and I don't. It's it's the $1 million question on, is it going to be one of the confirmed entrants, or is there going to be a big surprise? Uh,
I mean, I don't put him in the Casino Royale though. I think he's a big enough name where he could be there, but it's like
oh,
I,
he for his debut match, yeah, in front of the Wembley crowd, it's clear as day Ricochet's gonna debut in this match. And it's also the big question, like, are there gonna be any returns in this one? I mean, you have Roderick Strong in this one. Are we gonna see uh Wardlow in this one? I was actually very close to saying Walter, but no, wrong company. Uh, is Wardlow gonna return? Is Miro gonna return? Because he's still injured, right?
Yes, and there's one name you haven't mentioned yet that I'm really banking on. It's not likely, but it's one name I'm really hoping to see in this thing. We'll see if it happens. But anyway, what's your pick?
My, I guess I'm also gonna choose Hangman Adam Page. because he's just the biggest name. I mean, there's still possibilities to be thrown in there. Samoa Joe, John Moxley, uh, to make special appearances, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Hangman Adam Page because he's the only one that actually has like a storyline momentum going into this
My
match.
point's exactly, Scholar Tark. My point's exactly. That backstage segment's sealed. He's winning the Casino Battle Royale. Jeff, you rounded it out by saying that. What do you say, Scholar Jeff? What are you saying for my title?
I am going to have to agree with you. For a second there, I was kind of hoping you weren't paying attention to the backstage things leading up to this show, but I'm like, yeah, in my estimation, I can't disagree. It's looking to be Hangman. I'm going to go with Hangman to win. That seems like a relatively safe bet. Although I have to admit, on a personal note, I am hoping that they bring back Danhausen for this thing. I don't know why they haven't used him. I don't think he's going to win. But you know what? I want Danhausen on TV. Tony Khan, you're throwing money away. You're
You know
throwing
who
the
I want to see? You want to know who I want to see show up in this match?
no. Moving on. We've got
Grado.
Tony's. I'm
I
just
want to
kidding. I was
like
gonna
I want
let
to
you
see.
finish.
I was gonna Grado. I want to see him just to hear the Wembley crowd singing like a prayer as he's coming out.
Somehow, I don't think Tony Khan is going to want to shell out the money for like a prayer for that. But as far as just like a general appearance from Grado that day, it's not outside the realm of possibility. He showed up last year during the pre-show, so
Yeah, but this having him show up on the actual show, yes, please. I'm sorry. I want to hear I want to hear a stadium filled crowd singing like a prayer for Grado. That'll be one of my top moments of the year if that actually happens.
I would love it if it did. But as much as I don't think it's likely, hey, we'll see where we end up. Speaking of where we end up, next match on the card, we do actually have for the AEW Women's Championship, the blood feud of the year, Toni Storm defending her title against Mariah May. The betrayal, the drama, the Tarek. Who do you got for this one?
I am the Tark now.
Yes,
No.
the
But
one and
I'm gonna
only Tarek in the entire universe of the Scholars of Wrestling show. Make your pick.
I'm gonna go with Mariah May to win the championship. It's the only way for this feud between the two to keep going. Uh I actually think we all predicted this when Mariah May first showed up with Tony Storm, and just it was just inevitable. And I will give her credit. I remember saying after Jeff and I went to the January Dynamite show at Prudential, I didn't think her match was relatively good. I didn't think because she basically did like the same moves over and over again, just throwing. What was her name? Oh,
You
what was
faced Queen
her
Aminata that night.
Queen Aminata? Yes,
I think it was like
and
her
how the
second AEW match ever. And we're like, oh, yeah, both these ladies got some chops. And I remember Queen Aminata got in more offense than I think we both thought she would. But
and I just remember her gaining the crowd's respect and be like, wow, I actually really like this. I really dig this chick. Yeah. But yeah, Mariah May to win the championship. It's honestly the only thing that they can do.
that is where I disagree with you. I don't think it's the only way they could go with this. I think there's a good, strong case to be made because of how strong Toni Storm is and how over she is and how well she's been performing over the past year. A case could be made for Toni Storm retaining the championship. That being said, I am going to have to acquiesce that I think Mariah May is due. Her time is now, and I think it's all going to come down to Mariah. And either no matter what happens with the big mystery question of what is Mina Shirakawa going to do, I don't think it's really relevant because I don't think it's really going to matter in the end as far as the result of this match. I think Mariah May is going to be your new AEW Women's Champion. Pete, do we have an agreement?
We have a triple threat, boys. I 100% agree with that. I mean, I echo what you both have said. Like Tony Storm, it is. I am not an AEW watcher by any means. People know, but I do enjoy those wrestlers that stand out. Those MJFs, the Young Bucks, the Will Ospreys, and in the women's division, besides the Doctor and fucking Sasha Banks. What
Old habits die hard.
Mercedes,
It's okay.
it's Mercedes Moons, whatever yeah, she does not. We'll get there, gentlemen. Gentlemen, we'll get there. Don't you worry. But honestly, Tony Storm, it makes me want to watch AEW because I love her energy.
Of course she does.
But at the end of the day, you're telling a story. This reminds me of the Trish Mickey James, and it is now good old May's turn to win the title. It's her time. Let's keep this feud going. Let's get this thing going. We have a new AEW Women's Champion at the end of All In.
As a sidebar, did you sidebar to this match? Did you hear the reports from Mariah May in a recent interview that she did before this event that apparently someone in AEW, someone in management went up to her and was like, "Hey, can you do us a favor? Stop kissing Mina Shirakawa so much." I'm just like, who said this? Who thinks this is a problem? Why?
Who is not American?
No. No, they are not. I was going to say, I thought that's something, it's like Rhea Ripley. Some things are just over with literally every single person in the crowd. So don't mess with a good thing. Thank you very much. But anyway, that's beside the point, but I digress. Next up on the card,
I
we've
really
got...
thought you were going to go Tony Storm for a second there, Scholar Jeff. You had me quite perplexed there.
Tony Storm had me quite perplexed there for a second. But you know what? I got... some things are just apparent, and if I'm right and we're in agreement, hey, hope maybe there is still a chance that we call you Scholar for a reason. But anyway, I'm digressing again. Moving on, we've got for the AEW American Championship or / Continental Champion. No, wait, International Champion. Yeah, that mid-card title, MJF versus Will Ospreay. This one seems like another obvious one in my eyes. I think this is the big victory that Will Ospreay is meant to have in Wembley. He's practically made for this, and especially with that last set of promos, these two are absolutely killing it. Ospreay is showing how he can go on the mic, and MJF is doing his MJF things. We expect excellence. It's not shocking anymore. But be that as it may, I am also going to go with Will Ospreay to win. Pete, it's your pick up first. Who you got, Will Ospreay or MJF?
Will Ospreay for the win. I mean, the MJF, what a heel, what a guy, and just that line where it was just like, it took you 4 years to get over with these people. It took 4 beats of my music, and I'm just like, fucking, let's go. MJF can deliver. Will Ospreay can deliver. My question to you, Scholar Jeff, is this the actual match order?
We do not know the actual match order, with the exception of the main event, the declared main event, and the pre-show matches. This is just my best prediction and the listing based off of Wikipedia.
Fair enough. Thank you. But no, like I said, it's to echo you, it's his time to shine at Wembley. And what better way to do it with MJF? And I'm telling you right now, it's going to end somehow with the ring. And it's going to be that big moment with MJF attacking him with the ring like he's been doing. But it's going to be that big Will moment. And it's him. Scholar Tarek, where do you stand on this match?
Where I stand on this match is this feud is the equivalent to WWE's Rock versus Triple H in the beginning years, fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. This will be AEW's equivalent to Randy Orton versus John Cena for WWE. These guys will have a forever feud. And no matter which way they go, wherever feuds they will have in the future, it'll always come back to them eventually. That's how this is soon going to be fight matches for the world championship in the near future. With that being said, it's Will Ospreay all the way. Have it go back to being the international championship, which in my opinion is AEW's Intercontinental Championship. It's topped all the other mid-card belts. Will Ospreay all the way, bruv.
All right. That moves us on to our next match. We've got for the TNT Championship, we've got Jack Perry defending his title against Darby Allin. Pete, it's your pick up first for this match. Who do you got?
Easy, Jack Perry. Put it down for the win. I mean, storyline, you see it. They can build up to this. They can make so much more out of this feud. Two great young talents, but I feel like it's going to be some underhanded shit, and Jack Perry will come away with the championship. Well, retains. Let me clarify. Retain the championship. Sorry, gentlemen.
I gotcha. Moving on, we've got Tarek. It's your pick up next. Who do you got between Jack Perry and Darby Allin?
I just have to quickly ask, what do you think of the new TNT design that Jack Perry revealed?
Frankly, I dig it. I think it's very much suits Jack Perry's style. It gives it a more distinct flavor. It makes it his own. Tarek, what do you think?
I just question is like every time someone wins that championship, is it just going to change its look? Because I believe almost every person has their own rendition of the TNT championship. I think I've
100%. I'm
seen
looking
I've
at
seen
it
a
now
picture
already.
for it.
Yeah,
I've seen
already.
a picture of like each TNT champion, and the championship is just different in some form or fashion.
Some red, some
Um,
green.
I'm also gonna go with Jack Perry to retain. I mean, Darby Allin also has a world championship match scheduled for him. He could lose this one and be like, "Oh, it's okay. I still have a world championship match. I don't care."
I'm good.
Yeah, I can't disagree in the slightest. I'm especially I wasn't going to say anything at the time, but frankly, after giving himself a new belt so soon, and the fact that of where Darby is in terms of the world title hierarchy, yeah, this one's looking like Jack Perry's moment. Probably through some shenanigans, but it's Jack Perry, so it's fine. Next up, we've got for the TBS Championship, conversely, we've got Mercedes Moné defending her title against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Tarek, your pick up next. Who do you got?
Mercedes Moné. They're just setting this match up for Jamie Hayter to return to back up Britt Baker. That's all this is, right, for me.
Yeah, the time it once again is seeming right. As much as I want to see the reestablishment of Britt Baker, I would agree that keeping the title on Mercedes for a little bit longer, especially if it means a return of Jamie Hayter, Lord hoping. I think now this is going to be a good result. But the real question is, Pete, do we have an accord? Who are you going with?
We got a triple threat again, boys. I mean, I hate this fucking shit. I wish Dr. Breaker would win. But the reality of the fact is, Tony Khan was like, "Oh, we'll let you win at Wembley. No problem." Listen, it's like you said too, it's still early. You need to have fucking Miss Mercedes Malone fucking get her time at Wembley.
Money. Think the
That's
money.
sure.
Yes, Monet.
Like I said, I think Mercedes Monet will win
CEO,
this. Will win this
CEO,
match. And I echo what you boys said, and just like you hate her. Like I hate her, but like that's her character, and it's just if anything I'm sensing from this pay-per-view, gentlemen, is it's the heels pay-per-view. And this just continues that wrongful heel pay-per-view persona. You give the nice little Will Nightingale as the pre-show, and then you hit them where it hurts with Jack Perry, with Mercedes Monet, and all that crap. Because at the end of the day, you're waiting for the moment. But we'll get there.
All right, very good. Now bring us to our next match for the FTW Championship. We've got Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, defending against Hook. And from what I believe the stipulation is, if Hook loses, he cannot challenge for the FTW Championship while Chris Jericho is the champion. For me, I think this is going to be a bit of a red herring, really, that stipulation. I'm going to go with Hook to win, just to get the title belt back, and the Learning Tree can move on to teach some more lessons elsewhere. So I'm going to pick Hook. Pete, which way you going on this one?
Look, the stipulation says it all. If he loses, he cannot challenge Chris Jericho again for the title. Really? And right now, Chris Jericho not looking so great in the ring as of late. And I think, you know what? It's time for you, baby, just to chill out, figure out your shit, let Hook have this win, have him win back the belt that was originally for him way back when, boys. But I digress. Hook for the win.
And Tarek, do we have yet another accord?
we do. We really do. But in this case, I want Hook to win this belt just so he can retire it. I'm kind of done with the FTW Championship. It's a title that means absolutely nothing. Win it back for your daddy and then give it back to your daddy just so Hook can actually move on to actual titles that actually matter.
All right. Next match on the card, we've got a triple threat tag team match for the AEW Women's Champion for the AEW Women. What am I looking at here? Okay, my wires crossed. AEW Tag Team Championships. We've got Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. And whose pick is it first? It's Pete. You've got your choice between the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. Which way you going?
See, gentlemen, this is where we separate the scholars from the new scholars.
I was waiting for how are you gonna finish that up, sir?
But for me, I mean,
What will you do, Peter? What will you do?
I mean, just storyline base. I'm going. I'm going to go with the Young Bucks.
You don't seem very confident in that, Pete.
Listen,
you're not confident at all.
Listen,
you're not.
As your champion, I have the Young Bucks retaining because, like them, I will be retaining. So, Young Bucks for the win. Because
what flawless logic! What flawless logic, and presented so confidently and so well. Oh, so provocative, so provocative. Pete.
Oh, Tarek should save us. But what's going on?
Tarek, you heard the man. Save Pete. He's drowning out there. Which way you going?
Well, I am going to say with confidence that the Young Bucks are going to retain just because I want to see the this new elite still have all the belts. Have each of them hold some gold. Even if some gold means more so than others. You know, Jeff knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, Young Bucks to win.
Jeff, where do you stand?
I am conflicted. I think this could go one of two ways, truth be told.
Truth be told, let's have a conversation. My other thought is the Acclaim. Is that also your thought as well?
That is where I'm split on. It
That
could
is that
certainly
I went
happen.
with it. Listen, as a fighting champion, I will tell you that that was my decision, and I went with the Young Bucks. So you got to ask yourself, Scholar Jeff, are you willing to gamble your championship future on the Acclaim?
What the
What,
actual
what the hell?
fuck is
Like,
this?
I don't know. You had me for the slightest of moments, but then you were just you were cracking up too much and you lost it. You lost it, Pete.
I said I didn't lose anything. Young Bucks are winning. Are you going to take the Acclaim and make it a different type of title match, Scholar Jeff? Or are you going to play it safe? Go with the smart guys, the smart scholars, and scholars
Tell you
hard.
what, you know what? This is where you underestimate me. Because I'm a lot of things, but being the smart guy in the room is not it. I'm gonna go with the Acclaimed. How about that?
Holy shit! Now we have a difference.
You're welcome. That's what I do. Differences always make the difference. Differences are why you're even here. Differences are why you are the champion, because I allow it. Once again, it's the little differences that are going to make that made you, and they will break you.
I'm
Listen, I
just now
wish the
curious
best
if you
on the
were going to
Acclaim.
choose the Young Bucks and he just made you change your mind.
No, in all seriousness, I was leaning towards the Acclaimed, but then a
Oh,
case
okay.
was made for the Young Bucks. I'm like, okay, is this the safe bet or do I want to take a calculated risk? You
How
know what? After all that, I'm honestly making the calculated risk. I'm not just making that up just for dramatic effect. I was
how
really
they
going to
ended
go
this
with the
segment
Acclaimed.
on Wednesday, I really thought I'm like, man, if ever I believed that the Acclaim was going to do it, I'm like, do they? But I think it's just keep it in the titles with the fam. It's gonna. You have to go with the young buck. But it's so
I
it's
know, right? I'm not the
most
one who saw
anticipated
that, in
match.
all seriousness.
It's my most anticipated match of the card, boys. Like besides, I obviously MJF and Will Ospreay and Danielson, but like for it, I cannot wait for these teams to go at it.
Speaking
I'm
of
sorry, the Acclaim
teams,
just doesn't. I'm sorry, the Acclaim just doesn't do it for me right now. I'm not a fan of the Acclaimed. They're I they're trying their damnedest to push them as like the big threat for the tag team championships, and all I'm doing is like, really, the Acclaimed? I don't.
I
Meh.
I think it's more just so that they can lead up to a feud with and a more extended feud rather with the Young Bucks, whether they're chasing or defending. I think the Acclaimed have a good shot at this. I really truly do. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. But given the way things ended up, even if it's a red herring, I think they have a legitimate shot. But
We can all agree that FTR is not winning the belts, so we're all in agreement there.
well, at least we got that. At least we got that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the
And now
meantime,
because you said that the FTR actually does end up winning,
and we all lose points.
we all lose.
But speaking of we all lose, that moves us on to our next match for the AEW Trios Championship. We've got a one, two, yeah, a fatal four-way trios match. Do the math on that one. We've got the Patriarchy defending the championships against the Bang Bang Gang, the House of Black, and the Blackpool Combat Club with Pac. Tarek, it's your first up pick. Who do you got?
I'm going to say the patriarchy successfully retain. There's have this lead more to the inevitable breakup with I wanted to say Luchasaurus, but I was like, but no, Kill Switch. The inevitable turn for Kill Switch of the patriarchy. And Now with Lucha Brothers being on their way out, I kind of want Pac to actually join up permanently with Blackpool Combat Club.
Interesting. That being said, I am also going to go with the Patriarchy to win. I do want to see Lucha's finally some sort of something with this. I just don't think it's going to be just yet. I think there's a few more legs left on this storyline, at least with Kill Switch in particular. I want to go back to Luchasaurus. I want retain the same color scheme of the mask and just pair him back with Jack Perry again. Make them both heels. Call them Jurassic Express. Don't call them Jurassic Express. They still work as a great team. Do something more with them. But that's neither here nor there. Pete, it's your pick. What do you got?
We got an Accord, sir. The patriarchy for the win. I mean, you can't deny that Christian's not doing some of his best work right now. And with Luchasaurus, that whole story, you know, there's going to be something that happens, something at all in that happens where you're going to just see the slightest little, there's a moment, there's a moment. But like to you gentlemen said, there's so many more legs to this story. And why rush it? Christian, just like I said, Christian is doing fantastic work. You give that man a mic and he performs, and it's the patriarchy to retain.
And with that, we are here at our main event. We've got title versus career Swerve Strickland against Bryan Danielson. If Bryan Danielson loses, he must retire. And with that, this could go either way. A case could be made for any event, especially with what we talked about earlier on in the evening. This one is probably the most reasonably up in the air match that we have this entire weekend. That with that being said, the direction I'm going to go with this is going to be Bryan Danielson. I think he's going to have a somewhat brief run with the AEW championship and then not entirely retire completely, but instead that is after this title run, he's going to revert back to a part-time schedule. He will no longer be a full-time wrestler, but I just don't see someone like him hanging it up completely, but rather slowly making his way out. And I think that after this title run, as sort of a thank you run from AEW as a whole, whether it was his idea or not, I think that this is going to after this whole title reign, rather, I think he's going to slowly make his way out and move into part-time work. But until then, it's all going to start off with this match, and it's going to be Bryan Danielson becoming the new AEW champion. Pete, which way you going?
Let me tell you, gentlemen, what's happening here in this wonderful pay-per-view that we've been watching and reacting and making predictions for. Because at All In, as you can see, I've been telling you guys it's all about story. And you've had just heartbreak after heartbreak, whether it's Jack Perry retaining or whether it's the Young Bucks retaining, Tony Storm losing her championship, Mercedes Moné retaining. You have these moments where's going to be a win, and you know where that win's going to be in Danielson winning the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Because I said it to you earlier, gentlemen, I gave you my prediction for the world title right in the beginning when you asked for the Casino Gauntlet. It is going to be Bryan Danielson going against Hangman Adam Page. I think people want to see 80,000+ people in Wembley go, yes, yes. Tony Khan wants his WrestleMania 30 moment with Bryan Danielson, and he's going to get it at Wembley. Again, Danielson to win the belt, and for me to retain my belt.
Although I do have to ask, you were about to say Daniel Bryan there for a moment, weren't you?
I cannot confirm nor deny those,
That is a yes. That is a yes.
but I didn't.
Anyway,
Your,
our
your Scholars champion did not. And that's what he could do for you, the audience. He could be your champion. Comment below. Tell the scholars that I am your champion.
and with that, Tarek, take us home. Who are you going with?
Pete just pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. I wanted this is the most choosing with my heart prediction for me all year, because it's those things I don't want to see Danielson retire full time, like full, not like having special appearances and just the whole I'm never wrestling again type of ordeal. I want him to win that world title. I want him to, it's not even like a, I don't want to see Swerve as champion, because Swerve has done a good job as AEW world champion. But now this is just me choosing my heart on this one. I want Danielson to win this world championship. I don't even care if it's not going to be a long title reign, because it's not going to be. But it's going to be just, we're going to have, as Pete put it, the WrestleMania 30 moment with Danielson leading a giant yes chant at Wembley. 80,000 plus crowd doing it. What better way to close off your show?
And there you go. That is our predictions for AEW All In 2024. But now, with our predictions in, now is the time where we bring it back over to you, our fellow fans. Who's going to walk away with a victory at All In 2024? Who's going to be a champion? And more importantly, am I going to get back my championship? Just let whatever you think, comment below. Let us know what you think all across the internet, YouTube comments, Facebook posts. And of course, if you want to join in the conversation directly, you can join us on the Twitter machines. Starting with you, Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me enjoying this one episode of Scholars of Wrestling at the Avataric.
And Scholar Pete, where can they reach you?
Of course, you can reach me at Improv Pete, soon to be changed, reigning and defending Scholars of Wrestling champion.
I now pull out that John Cena meme. Are you sure about that?
Of course, he's not sure about that. And you can look at me being absolutely sure about that at I'm Robbie Rage. Join in the conversation, trash talk us all you want. And for all of those relevant social media links and much, much more, check us out at our link tree in the description below. That's linktree/Scholars of Wrestling. And with that, our predictions are in. Our talk is trashed. Our trash is talked every single way you want it. And that's how we're going to do it every single time. And we're going to all check out the mayhem to come. And you all know we're going to do that because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're
See you
welcome.
all at All In.